Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining me on my part of the Day of Digital today. My name is Trigby. I am the Director of Buzz Stuff Development here at BizzyWeb. I am going to be talking about inbound marketing today, and I'm going to be talking about a basic framework about the philosophy of what it is and how do you do it, and is it something that is going to be right for your business. So a lot of fantastic presenters have been going through the Day of Digital today. Hopefully I can measure up. I know Ken Countess's presentation at the last meeting was fantastic. I know right after me is a wonderful speaker named Erin Bemis. I would absolutely encourage you to visit her as well. So before we get started, I do want to mention that I am broadcasting this live to YouTube Live. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing there and instead share this with you. If you are interested in posting a question, just go to the YouTube page where this is broadcasting. You can also visit my website at BizzyWeb.com/events to find it. And you'll see right here, there's a chat pane. I'd love to hear where you are in the country and if you are participating. And if you have any questions during the live broadcast, I would absolutely love hearing from you, and I'll do my best to answer. If I go too fast or if I go through a concept that is not as fleshed out as you'd like, I will give you my contact information, and I will post this to YouTube as just as soon as I'm done. It will also be available through the Day of Digital page. So with that, we got a big crowd today. I'm going to give it just a few seconds to get rolling and give everybody the opportunity to catch up. But we're going to get started in just 1 second. So if you are curious about who we are a company called BizzyWeb. We are a full-service growth marketing agency that's based in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Primarily, our focus is on inbound marketing and on growth strategies for new customer acquisition and lead generation. That tends to manifest itself in a number of different ways, like digital marketing, like new content, like great web design, all of which we do in-house. We are a HubSpot agency partner, and we are also a Google partner, as well as we used to be a Constant Contact partner as well. So why are we here today? Why are all of you participating in these great webinars that we're offering today? It's primarily because we are all trying to do one simple thing, which is to sell more and to find more customers. And that's even more challenging to do today because people's behavior has changed. People get tuned out by traditional marketing tactics. And we as marketers who think we're so clever and think we are pulling off an amazing creative thing, by and large, will get ignored. The statistics say that on the average, that a typical standard red-blooded American person gets marketed to at least 200 times a day. 200 times a day. So the opportunity to actually get a message that resonates is even more difficult. That's because a lot of the old ways are broken. Can't think of anybody who watches TV ads anymore. I've got a 4-year-old, so I try and avoid it at all costs because then my Christmas shopping list goes through the roof. A lot of people just unsubscribe or don't even read email. And more than 25% of all direct mail is never opened. It just automatically gets thrown away. And there are over 200 million numbers. Again, that's million with an M on the do not call list. Those are astonishing numbers because somehow, as we are trying to market and find new customers and explain what we're doing, we are trying to thread the needle to the extent that we have to jump over these hurdles just to even get heard, let alone resonate, let alone get an engagement. So the way in which we do that is because we have to think of ourselves as love doctors. We need to provide something to our visitors, to our prospects, to the people who would not yet know us. We need to provide them something that they will love. And to do that, we also have to do it on their timetable. I'm going to say a statement that may sound a little strange, but bear with me because it's very important. People do not want to talk to you until they do, And when they do, they will want to talk to you only on their terms. I'll say that one more time. People do not want to talk to you. When they do want to talk to you, they will only talk to you on their terms and when they're ready. So what is our job as marketers? It's by creating that love fest and creating that opportunity to share with people when they're ready. To do that, we've got to be consistent and constant across all of our channels and provide the right information at the right time. So what makes inbound marketing different than everything else? Well, the traditional sales and marketing involves sending cold emails, cold calling people up, creating pop-up ads, anything like that we've all experienced in the past. And it has varying degrees of success. A lot of people have made a lot of money off of doing that kind of thing in the past, but it hasn't always worked to the best. And especially in this day and age, people are getting drowned out because there are so many messages going out at the same time. Inbound marketing is customer-centric. It provides the customer the opportunity to hear something when they are ready to hear it. I am in sales, and so one of the big challenges that I have all the time is I might find a client that absolutely needs our service. I might find a client that is desperate for what we are offering at BizzyWeb, but it's just not the right time. So that timing piece is absolutely crucial and absolutely critical in what we're doing. We need to be attracting people when they're ready to be attracted to. And the way in which we do that is we're easy to be found and we're easy to provide information for. And that gets into SEO and blogging. I know Karen Leonard today spoke very highly, and she's a great expert on SEO. I'd absolutely encourage you to take a look at her webinar if you didn't get a chance to see it earlier today, because she's fantastic. The goal of inbound, it's when you do inbound marketing correctly and well, your customers are going to come to you. So that's really the silver bullet for all of this. If we get everything working the way it should, the right people will identify themselves at the right time and call us and challenge us to start working together. So how exactly does that happen? Well, it's important that we start by looking at what sales used to be. Back in the dark ages of the internet, a time in my life I like to refer to as college, sales is highly pressurized. It's all about me, me, me. It's all about how do I get you to do what I want you to do, which is to take the thing. Usually there's a difference between marketing and sales. If you think about it in terms of the old school car dealer, checkered sports coat analogy, that guy who gets you on the floor of the dealership and says, what do I need to do to get you into this car today? That's a high pressure sales, and it's all about getting your attention and shoving something down your throat. But people are savvy now because of the information age that we live in, and because of the internet, the world is basically informationally flat. Only will people spend money when they're comfortable and when they are provided with a really great customer experience. I'll say that again. People will only spend money when they feel comfortable enough because they are given a great customer experience. If you don't give people a great customer experience, well, not a lot of marketing efforts can help you. But if you do, you want to make sure that how you do it online is just as good as how you do it offline. So what sales is today is it's about the customer. You've got a system for follow-ups to make sure that you hit that crucial timing point, and you're providing additional value at every single turn. So one of those cheesy dad joke phrases that we use at BizzyWeb all the time is smarketing. It's sales connected to marketing. It's smart marketing. But realistically, what that means is that there is no marketing funnel anymore, and there is no sales funnel. It's just all condensed into one customer journey. So here's your old funnel. And this is what most people learn in the first week of business school. You spend a significant amount of time prospecting, making all those hard choices, getting all those people out there who are interested in maybe fitting into your business. And then as you move down the funnel, you're getting rid of the people who it's not a good fit for, or they just don't call you back, or they ghost you or something like that. And then once you get down to the end of the funnel, you've got them to commit to a purchase. And so from a time perspective, you spend the majority of your time prospecting, but as you get lower and lower into the funnel, you spend the least amount of time with the people that are making the maximum amount of effort. This is something that is taught in just about every business school on earth. It is usually taught on the first day, and it is now outdated and wrong. Here's what it looks like. Here's what it looks like now. The new sales journey is absolutely all over the place. It looks like a Chevy Chase vacation map. I do want to stop for a second and answer Eric Sugarman, who asked a question on the YouTube live page. Will there be a download for the slideshow? Eric, if you want to reach out to me, I'll give you my contact information again at the end of the show. I will absolutely feel free to share my deck with you at any time, and you will be able to see it again. So thanks again for your question. So look at this map. It's like a map of downtown Boston, Massachusetts. It's all over the place. Let's walk through it a little. The prospect is going to first, as they're understanding that they have a problem, they are going to look for a solution online. They're going to maybe get some peer referrals. They're maybe going to do some research in some online communities. You bet, Eric. And then they're going to maybe reach out to social medias and look at some reviews. They're going to look at 3 to 5 people. Generally, the first page of a Google search is no farther how people go. 98% of people don't go to the second page of Google. The 2% is basically me and people who do what I do. Then, and only then, if you have jumped through those 6 hoops before a client has even reached out to you, then and only then will they maybe pick up the phone and call. At that point, they've already gone through 2 steps of the original sales funnel. They've gone through their awareness, they've gone through consideration, they've vetted you, and they've come back to decide maybe you are somebody who potentially could solve my problem. Now, if we look at this in comparison, the sales journey on the right, a lot of that's marketing and a lot of that's sales. It's melded together now, and that's what inbound marketing is going to do to help us. It's going to help flatten that out, combine sales and marketing, and provide not just a funnel, but an actual customer journey. Here's what your new funnel looks like. It's a flywheel. So the 3 things that in your business that every single business has now become more critical than ever, that they function together. You've got your service implement, you've got your marketing, and you've got your sales, all of which are equally weighted and equally important. No matter how great your marketing is, if you don't have somebody who can close a deal, you're not going to go anywhere in business. No matter how great your closer is, if your team that actually does the work and services the client doesn't do a good job, you're done. There's no way that you're going to get repeat business. Maybe you could get a volume business, but it's not going to happen. If your service is working to the extent that those clients are happy to talk to you and happy to share with you, then absolutely they will lead to better marketing opportunities. The outside wheel, the service marketing and sales wheel, that should spin freely. And there are 2 things that affect how fast a wheel spins. Number 1 is force. Those are all the really good things that you're doing in your company, all those positive experiences that you're offering, all those problems that you're solving, and to a large extent, the people that are part of your organization as well. And then there's the friction. The friction is what slows down a wheel from spinning. And friction can be anything from a really convoluted process or a website that is over-educational. What I mean by that is a website that tells you too much but doesn't actually ask you to do anything, or even a person who's just not very much fun to deal with as part of your organization. Your customers are going to feel that as well. So you absolutely want to make sure that you are having a minimum amount of friction and the maximum amount of force on your wheel. But notice what's at the center. It's the customers that you already have. It's not new customers. It's the customers that you already have. By keeping those customers happy, everything will spin. And as things spin, then you start feeding into the bottom edge of what you're doing there. By the way, if you are looking at our YouTube live channel, like Eric Sugarman is, he just subscribed. We'd love it if you did. We do a couple of these every month. Thanks for subscribing, Eric. So here's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about a basic blueprint for smart marketing. I'm going to talk about how you connect with your audience as opposed to anybody else. And then how do you convert them from looky-loos to actual people who are doing what you need them to do, which is connecting and engaging with you. Then I'll talk about how to actually measure your lead funnel goals as well. So this is what we subscribe to at BizzyWeb. This is what we share with our clients as a lead generation smart marketing blueprint. There's 5 parts to it: strangers, visitors, leads, customers, promoters. And I'll walk you through each of these steps, but each one of these steps has different marketing tools that follow suit with this and different marketing things that you can be doing through the process. Remember that sales funnel I showed you earlier? It's constantly messy. Your prospects are going to need to be on a choose their own adventure before they actually pick up the phone and call you. So let's start with the attract. That's where we are getting people who are strangers to us that may find us through an internet search, or they might find us through a CRM search, or they might find us through a social search. The way in which we're going to attract them to try and solve their problem that they might not even know they have: we're going to be publishing things on social media. We're going to be writing really great content. We're going to be easy to be found. We're going to be knowledgeable to the extent that we are clearly experts at what we do, but yet we're actually asking people to do something. Next is we're going to convert. We want, every time somebody comes to us online at any point of any of our channels, be it social, email, or web, anything like that, we're going to want them to actually do something. And that's what we measure as conversion. We might want people to go to a landing page. We might want people to fill out a form. We might want people to participate in a call to action. By that, I mean actually do something. Once that happens, then we really get them to be classified as more of a lead, where we enter them into our CRM. We're sending them emails. We are working with them to determine what their problem is. And we're trying to figure out what sort of solution is best for the client. Notice I'm not trying to sell anything. What I'm really trying to do is talk to you and say, what is it that you have the biggest need for? And is that something that I can actually solve for? If it's not, the best thing I can do is shake your hands and say, I can't help you, because you're going to respect the fact that I said that. Trying to push you into something that isn't going to work for you is just going to turn somebody off. After that point, people become customers. And once they're a customer, then it really gets challenging. Then we want to continue to share them with smart contact and social monitoring. Anytime somebody that we know posts something positive on social media, we want to thank them for that. Anytime somebody shares a piece of our content who's an existing customer, we absolutely want to thank them for helping to promote our business. And in fact, you can go back to people and ask how and what worked really well in the whole effort to becoming a customer. We learned a lot recently from going back and doing this very same exercise with some of our customers, and we're making pretty substantive changes for our business as a result of this, because it's truly been fascinating as to how it's been different. So it's like poker. It's really simple, but hard to implement. So how do we actually get to the next part, which is how do we actually generate a conversion? Well, if we get somebody to look at a call to action, and this is one of my calls to action that I use as part of the marketing effort here at BizzyWeb. So a call to action, you can see on the left-hand side there, I am trying to help you get better results with something we call user-centered design. And if you're interested in that, I will give you this free ebook, and all you have to do is click the button. So immediately what I'm doing is respecting your time. I'm giving you something, and I'm also asking you for a little bit of time and a little bit of information. Once you click on that button, all you need to do is fill out the form. And on the left-hand side of that landing page, you can see I'm giving you a certain amount of information. So I'm immediately validating your position when you said, yes, I will click on the button. Great. Now here's a little bit more detail about what you're going to get for just a little bit more information. It's a giver's gain. Everything I ask for you, I am reciprocating in how I am responding, even virtually. Finally, I immediately thank you. So once you click yes and you immediately give that information, I'm going to give you exactly what I said I was going to give. So I'm building trust and I'm building integrity. One of the things that aggravates me to no end, and I'm sure it does you as well, is if you get one of those surveys that say, take 10 minutes and fill this out, and then you'll be entered into a drawing to win an iPad. Nobody ever wins the freaking iPad. You never see who does it. You never see who wins. I've never win, and I enter those things all the time. So to have an immediate gratification, I've asked you to do something, and I've immediately paid off on what I've done. That's an absolutely critical part of this inbound marketing strategy, because we're immediately giving people an opportunity to trust us as we move forward in the engagement process. Now, keep in mind, everything that I've done here is fairly benign. I haven't asked you for your phone number. I haven't asked you for a half an hour of your time. All I've asked you for is start to exchange some information with me. I'm taking very little steps on our journey towards asking you for that great big step, that leap of faith, which is give me money and I will give you a service and a return on that investment. So what does your landing page actually have to be? It has to be clear and concise with one specific headline. So you want to have one clear call to action. So this is one of our landing pages that we have at BizzyWeb. You can tell, even though it's small on the screen, what exactly I want you to do. I clearly want you to fill out the form because I've used a differentiating color there of the information that I want, and click yes. And then, so it's very simple as possible. And I'm able to actually track the results of who comes to this page versus who fills this out. So ideally what I want to see is I want to see a certain percentage of the people coming to this page actually taking the action that I want to take. And this is illustrative across all your inbound marketing strategies as well, not just a landing page, but I wanted to use this as an illustrative example. Next, we need to know, who exactly are we talking to? One of the things that I experience all the time in my business as director of business development here at BizzyWeb is people always have the next great idea, which is great. I have met with people who come up with amazing things that I never would have thought of, that really are life-changing and things that really can have an impact on the world. And then there are other people who come up with an idea that they think is life-changing. And so one of the questions that I frequently ask people as I'm starting an engagement with them is, who are you marketing to? Who is your target market? And if the answer is everybody, I immediately stop listening. There are three things in which we as human beings absolutely need. We need love, we need warmth, and we need food. Everything beyond that is not actually a need. It gets into making your life better or worse, but not everybody needs a specific product. I know this because there's no monopoly on anything in the world. Secondly, one of the things that I experience a lot is that small business owners tend to write their own marketing to start, which is great. You absolutely can do that. It's not a bad choice at all when you're starting out. However, a lot of people tend to have a significant amount of pride as it goes into something like that. They think, well, I like this, therefore my people should like this. And that's immediately where we can come in and make a significant improvement, because the people that you are marketing to are not necessarily thinking the same way that you're thinking. So it helps to start with actually creating a buyer persona. This is something that we do at BizzyWeb. We actually write out a full page about this ideal client that our clients might have. We talk about what their frustrations are, what their goals in life are, what their personality choices are, some of the even brands that influence them, how are they motivated? And then as we create inbound marketing strategies for our customers, we focus exclusively on those people, because those are the kind of people that we actually want to attract. Are we going to attract other people? Well, the answer is probably yes, but are those the right kind of people for us? Not necessarily. So when you're telling your persona's story, you want to do it in 5 chapters. And I've included one of my BizzyWeb marketing personas here. So 1 paragraph each. You want to talk about, what do they do? Are they male, female? How old they are? What are some of the demographic infos that they have? What does a day in their life actually look like? What are the challenges? What are the pain points that they're facing? And where do they get their information from? Where is the most helpful piece of information that they get, and where does it come from? And then what are some of the common objections that we hear from people in that line of work? So we have Marketing Leslie is one of our personas. And so we've actually written out a full page sort of diagram about Leslie. So she works in a service-based business. Her boss wants to grow, but doesn't necessarily know how to do marketing. So he said to Leslie, well, you go ahead and do the marketing. So she wears multiple hats and sort of gets marketing because she's marketed to a lot, but needs actual help from an expert to really make something grow. So doesn't know how to make a strategy, doesn't know how to dig into marketing data or use it to make informed decisions. So she's a parent and her off time is fairly kid focused. And then it goes on and on and on and on from there. But what that tells us is that one of the personas that we deal with at BizzyWeb is somebody who needs help, but is in a position of pride and needs to be empowered to give the kind of information they need to look like a rock star. So we've established our service offerings in order to empower people, not to create a sort of disconnect between the fact that we're the experts and somebody else isn't. We want to work together with you and ultimately make you, our client, successful, so then you are successful as well. So as we're trying to convert, the first thing we need to do is connect to them. So, and we need to have a connect to convert strategy as part of our inbound strategy. So when we are reaching out to new people, we want to get them involved in our overall inbound strategy. First, we need to research them. We need to create that persona, not just on an individual level, but also on a company level. What is the kind of company that we work best with? And then we collect that information in our CRM. We can set some sequences so that, and this is an if-then chart that we use at BizzyWeb, so that if I send you an email and you don't respond within 3 days, then my CRM will ding me and say, hey, this person hasn't responded back to you. It's time to pick up the phone and call them to see if we can schedule the meeting. And so a lot of what sequences are great if-then trees, and most really good inbound CRMs will do that for you. The one that we really like here at BizzyWeb that we use is a tool called HubSpot, which is absolutely a fantastic tool. And if you're interested, I can hook you up with some information with that after the show. Some of the new ways in which we use to engage, which are really fun and amazing, is we make video emails. We use a program called Wistia, W-I-S-T-I-A. So instead of getting an email saying, hey, just checking in, you'll actually get a video from me giving you a compelling reason to call me back. And also a program called GrowthBot that we get through Slack, which is really, really cool. And you can look up a lot of fascinating information on customers. Then you want to outreach to those customers that are a good fit. Here's the LinkedIn profile for Dave, the president of BizzyWeb. Once you've researched those prospects and companies, customize and personalize an actual invite. Don't just be one of those people that sends a LinkedIn and then 3 days later calls them and say, hey, I linked in with you. I really want to sell you something. That never actually works. When you meet people, you go to networking events, you meet people out and about, and invite them to link in with you, to remind them of the fact that you're out there, but also to get them as part of your process. But you're starting with a personal connection. So some of the other tools that you can use to research your prospects, primarily Facebook and Twitter, are fantastic. Instagram is kind of hit or miss. I find that anybody under 40, you have a good chance of finding them on Instagram. Over 40, it's about 50-50. So the key thing to point out as you're outreaching through your inbound strategy is to add value at every single turn. I need you to do something. I need you to set a meeting with me so that I can try and start my sales process with you, but that's not what you need. So every time I call you, I need to have something of value that I can give to you in order to move forward and entice you to start working together with me. Here's that video email that I talked about. This is really, really cool. It helps you stand out from the crowd. There are a couple of different tools you can use: Soapbox, Vidyard, and Loom. I use Soapbox. I think Soapbox is just really super cool. You only do about a 30-second video, 30-second to 60-second video, excuse me. And you see there that on Dave's email, he's got a link to say to set up a meeting to move forward. So I'm going to entertain you. I'm going to share something kind of cool with you. And then if you like that, then, you know, please reciprocate and let's talk something, talk a little further. GrowthBot was the other thing that I mentioned, which was really cool. It's a free tool that HubSpot offers through Slack. It helps you research your leads, things like keywords, things like what they're spending on pay-per-click, what sort of context and what sort of marketing effort are they putting forward are absolutely critical. You can often find companies that have been hacked and find companies that are sending them bad information. I once worked with a medical device company that had their competitors actually buying pay-per-click ads for the company that I was trying to work with. So they were trying to slough off traffic to them just by buying pay-per-click ads for that particular company name. So, okay, now that we have some strategies and some things that we can do to move forward to build in our inbound strategies, how do we really measure whether or not it's successful? Well, obviously, from a top line perspective, we want to look at the dollar figure. But what really you should be looking for is what are some meaningful baselines for your business. So not how many visits you got, not how many hits, not how many clicks, or what your bounce rate is, or anything like that. Really, what I want you to be focused on first is how many leads did you get? How many more leads this week did you get from the week before? How many more sales did you get from marketing efforts? How much improvement did your marketing have? So how many, obviously hits are important, but from a percentage, how many more hits did you get this week versus last week? Now, all that being said, this is a lot to do all at once, especially if you're a small business. So what I encourage you to do is to pick one part of your funnel and one part of your thing and build from there. So if you want to increase your leads, focus on increasing your leads. If you want to focus on your sales, then focus on that, and then everything else will follow suit. And remember the wheel that I showed you earlier. Every single thing you do is constantly evolving and constantly changing. Nothing should be static. It should be constantly up for improvement. So when you're tracking your results, that's when you start looking at the minutia of your marketing. Things like how many views are you getting? How many conversions? Are you adding more context to what you're doing? Are you getting the results that you are expecting? If you want to have a certain amount of results, announce that to yourself beforehand. Give yourself a goal to hit, and then make sure that other people know about it within your organization. And if you're meeting that goal, then fantastic. Then keep doing it. If you're not, get into the insights of things to figure out what can you be doing better and how can you be growing your organization. So your inbound funnel looks like this. The first thing is getting traffic. What do you do there? Well, you're creating great blog content, you're doing SEO, you're working on social media as well. Then the next part is getting really good leads. Placing calls to action throughout your website, that one thing that you're asking people to do, and then asking people really to fill out forms and to get whatever you're offering and to become a lead. Then it's getting customers, creating automated emails to drive people along your buying process, creating that human effect that anytime you say, hey, I'm going to call you in a couple of days, you actually do, by really using your CRM really effectively, and providing your sales team with a lot of really great intelligence. So because of the CRM that we use, which is the HubSpot product, if I'm looking at a sales lead, I will know if you've come to my website, how many times, what pages you've looked at, what emails you've opened that I've sent you. And I'm able to figure out, based on that, I've had a lot of really good lead intelligence walking into a phone call or a sales call. And then finally, analyze. So figure out what went well, what didn't go well, and determine which areas need further optimizations. How can you improve? Remember, nothing is ever perfect. You don't win the game of golf, but you can always improve and get better. and get better and better and better. This is much like marketing. You can always focus on getting better and better and better. When you're creating an inbound goal, the things that I sort of focus on and we focus on is number one, how many new connections did you get from the week before? And number two, how many handoffs to sales did you get? Ultimately, in marketing, what we do is we tee the ball up. Eventually, that salesperson's got to come in and hit it down the fairway. But the more balls we can tee up, the better the salespeople are going to like it. How many engagements did we get? How many people actually filled out a form? How many people clicked on a call to action? That's another great measurable inbound goal. And then finally, closing deals or new sales. That's obviously the big kahuna, that thing that we really want, that we want everybody to focus on, is how much return on investment did we get from our inbound goals. So as means of wrapping up, I want to just sort of summarize things that we've talking about. Is number one, inbound is a process. It involves everything that everybody at the Day of Digital is talking about today. It's SEO, it's email marketing, it's content creation, it's website design, it's social media marketing, all together, all focused on a specific purpose. Automate your results, target your leads so that the people who are out there that you have some intelligence on are only seeing the things that are relevant to them and helpful to them. Keep it fresh. I use video as a way to get in front of people, to have a little bit more fun and a little bit more of reverence. If any of you out there know me personally, you know that I think I'm quite a bit funnier than I actually am. So anytime I can get that in front of people, I try and do that, obviously to improve my comedy as well. Next, measure and improve. Always, always get better. Always, always have a qualifiable result. Don't just say, hey, the marketing's working. Actually say why it's working and what sort of measured goal did you make. To an extent, a lot of creative and inbound marketing is based on creative work, but a lot of it's based on math too. And the results are as important as anything else. Finally, use a system. Use something that can actually translate into a follow-up integrity-based system so that the customer experience journey that you're providing is as good as the service that you're providing. So if I could leave you with one final thought, think about the customer journey on the whole on the front end. Don't just think about it as the sales experience or the marketing experience. Think about everything that the customer goes through before they decide to purchase from you. Then how do you service them and how do you give them that great customer experience once you get the yes? Everything will circle around on itself. So measure your results, track your results, and make sure that you share your return on investment with anybody that you can. A couple last things before we go. If you're interested in learning more about BizzyWeb, or if you'd like to join our email list, the easiest way to do that is to text Bizzy, the word BIZZY, to 22828. So Bizzy to 22828, and we'll go ahead and include you on our email list. Finally, as a thank you to everybody who has participated today, I'm going to send you a free checklist on how to run an inbound marketing campaign and figure out whether or not you have the ability to create that framework for campaigns that solve problems for your clients. It's a free tool. It will show up in your email by the end of today, but I just want to thank you all for participating. I also have the link on there too. If you want to copy that down or check it out later, you will get it today as a thank you for participating. We'd love to hear more from you. And if you'd like a copy of my deck, you can email me there at trigv@bizzyweb.com. So thanks everybody for listening. I went through a ton of information very, very fast because I want to clear the decks and give those of you in Central and Mountain Time an opportunity to eat a little before Aaron Bemis's presentation at 2 p.m. Eastern. But thank you all for participating in my part of the Day of Digital. And if you have any questions, feel free and reach out to me, but we'll see you next time.